The dog coyotes target first. Most people think coyotes attack the smallest dog first, or the weakest, or the one that barks the loudest. That's not how it works. Coyotes don't choose based on size. They choose based on position. They choose based on structure. They choose based on which dog breaks formation first. And if you don't understand that, you misunderstand how predators think. Coyotes don't fight for dominance. They fight for advantage. A coyote pack doesn't wake up looking for the biggest opponent. They look for instability. They look for the one dog that patrols too far ahead, that drifts too far from the herd, that reacts emotionally, and the one that chases instead of controls. That dog becomes the test subject, not because it's weak, because it's exposed. The first target is usually the most reactive dog. Here's the mistake many farm owners make. They think the loudest guardian is the strongest guardian. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's the easiest to manipulate. Coyotes are masters of distraction. They will show themselves briefly, trigger pursuit, draw the guardian outward, then split from the herd. If your guardian leaves the goats to chase, the coyotes win without fighting. The first dog targeted is often the one who overcommits. Coyotes test behavior before they commit. Before an attack, there is almost always testing. You'll see distant howling, brief visual exposure, edge of property pacing, and coordinated movement at dusk. They're not charging blindly, they're measuring. Is the dog steady? Does it hold ground? Does it bark and return, or does it chase and separate? The dog that chases is the dog they isolate. Isolation is the goal. Coyotes rarely want a fair fight. Even in a pack, they want numbers against one. They want space between dog and livestock. The moment a guardian dog runs 200 yards from herd, crosses property line, enters bush alone, the dog becomes vulnerable. Even a strong Anatolian or Pyrenees can be overwhelmed if surrounded without positioning. Predators don't attack strength. They attack miscalculation. The calm dog is harder to manipulate. The guardian that barks, advances slowly, holds perimeter, keeps goats behind it, is harder to bait. The dog forces coyotes to expose themselves. Most coyote groups retreat when they can't create separation. It's not about breed, it's about pattern. People love breed debates: Anatolian, Great Pyrenees, Kangal, Tibetan Mastiff. But coyotes don't care about breed. They care about behavior pattern. A reactive Anatolian can be baited. A calm Pyrenees can hold ground. A poorly trained Kangal can overextend. The dog that gets targeted first is the one that breaks structure. Coyotes look for emotional triggers. A high prey drive guardian can be manipulated. Fast movement, sudden retreat, quick direction changes. That triggers chase instinct. Once chase mode activates, herd protection decreases. That's the moment coyotes measure distance from livestock. They don't need to win a fight. They need a window. If you see multiple coyotes show themselves at once, it's not random. It's coordination. One distracts, one flanks, one observes the dog's reaction. They're mapping response speed. If the guardian lunges aggressively and commits, they know the dog can be pulled. If the guardian stands firm and guards space, they often disengage. The dog that gets targeted is the one that leaves first. Watch your dogs at dusk. Which one moves first? Which one runs wide arcs? Which one drifts? That's your first target. Not because it's weak, because it exposes itself. Coyotes exploit edges, and the dog that creates distance becomes an edge. If isolation happens, the pack surrounds, not necessarily to kill, sometimes just to injure. A leg injury, a flank bite, a hamstring tear. Injured guardians cannot patrol effectively. Injured guardians create long-term vulnerability. Coyotes think long term. They don't just think about tonight. You reduce risk by reinforcing boundary respect, training recall under distraction, using multiple guardians when possible, maintaining fencing integrity, and also monitoring dusk behavior. The goal isn't aggression, it's structure. Guardians that understand territory lines are far harder to manipulate. The most dangerous guardian is the one that thinks it's hunting. A livestock guardian dog is not a pursuit hound. If your LGD treats coyotes like prey to chase, it's playing the wrong role. That mindset leads to isolation. Isolation leads to targeting. Guardians are defenders, not hunters. The difference matters. Some farms never lose animals, but it's rarely luck. It's structured dogs. Dogs that patrol in arcs close to the herd, return after warning, hold perimeter lines, and work in pairs. Coyotes sense cohesion. They sense organized resistance, and organized resistance deters more effectively than raw size. Here's something most people miss. The quiet dog, the one that doesn't overreact, is often the most stable. It observes longer, moves less, holds position. Coyotes test that dog carefully. If it doesn't break pattern, they disengage. The dog that stays is the dog that wins. You don't need your guardian to be the strongest. You need it to be disciplined, structured, boundary aware, calm under pressure. That's what predators struggle against. Not teeth, not size, structure. Coyotes don't attack randomly. They don't target the biggest dog. They don't even target the weakest dog. They target the dog that separates, the dog that overcommits, the dog that breaks formation. If you understand that, you don't just protect your goats, you protect your guardian. So watch your dogs at dusk. Pay attention to who moves first. Watch who chases. Watch who holds. Because the first target isn't chosen by strength. It's chosen by position. And position is something you can control. If you enjoyed this video or if you learned something new, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.